Hello everyone, my name is Allie, and today I'm going to be discussing a book by Sarah J. Maas called A Court of Thorns and Roses. I know many people have reviewed this book and read this book and loved this book as well as the second one, but this is my first time reading a Sarah J. Maas book and I loved it. So this book is about, it's a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, but it really isn't also a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. There's fairies and there's love and there's adventure and fantasy and friendship and family all combined. So basically it's about our main character Feyre, and she lives in the lower part of their country. There's kind of a map at the beginning of the book. You'll see it's kind of laid out differently. So they live in the lower part where all the humans live, and then all the fairy realms are in the northern part across something called the Wall. And so she lives in the southern part, and sometimes fairies cross over to kind of wreak havoc on the humans, and there's all this political things with that. So she's hunting one day to feed her family, and she shoots a wolf, but she doesn't know that that wolf is actually a fairy. So because she kills this fairy's friend named Tamlin comes, and because of a treaty that they have with the humans, he says you either have to die or come live with me in the fairy realm. So she goes and lives with him, and then stuff happens. So that's all I'm going to tell you for now before I go into it. I really did enjoy this book. I would say I would give it a 94, which is pretty impressive because I have been reading fantasy for a long time, and I kind of got out of it for a while, but now this book brought me back into fantasy world. So if you haven't read the book, go and read it and then come on back and we can discuss it. Okay. Ooh. Sirens. So we kind of start off with Feyre, and she loves her family. She wants to protect them even though they're very mean to her. Her sisters drove me insane in the beginning, like actually crazy, because they're just so selfish and so uncaring and treated her like crap, and I really just didn't like them until the end of the book. That redemption arc with Nesta was brilliant, because then in the end you could tell that she really did care, and she went after her, risked her life to go and find her sister and try and get through the wall, and that's something I don't think a lot of people would do. So I really, really loved, in the end, the dynamic between the sisters. Okay, so let's talk about Tamlin. I was very unsure of Tamlin at first, just because I was like, oh, he's capturing her and like keeping her there. But I was never really a Disney person when I was little, because my siblings are so much older than me. I never really watched Disney, so I really didn't remember Beauty and the Beast. Like I didn't remember the curse at all. I didn't remember anything. I just remember there was a castle and she was there with the beast kind of thing. But Tamlin, in the end, I really appreciated him. His kind of like sweet, awkward like thing, but he's so powerful and he like reins it in, and he's so like caring of other creatures. And so there's Tamlin, who I love, and then I want to talk about Lucien as well. Lucien I adored from the beginning. Even when he was all kill Feyre, like let her die or whatever, I got it because like his friend passed away. Like I can't imagine having to see the killer of my best friend like every single day. I like adored Lucien. He was just so smart and witty with his humor, which I love in a novel, and his relationship and friendship with Feyre really connected Tamlin to Feyre, I found. Without Lucien, I don't think she would have really understood Tamlin as much as she did in the end. And yeah, Lucien is my bae, Team Lucien. Okay, so Feyre herself. I want to talk about this because I was discussing with my roommate, she's also reading this book, and my roommate was like, oh, like Feyre, she's kind of like annoying and she always has to get saved and she always complains. And I was like, yeah, like I wish so bad that Lucien was female, or that there was another like girl presence in this book that could have like come and like saved the day at some point, because I feel like, I know that she's human and she literally can't help herself, even though she does a good job of like fending off people, but I wanted there to be another female presence that was strong and like could help her out and guide her through. And I know Alice was there and she was awesome, but I needed another female presence in this book. And I'm pretty sure there is, but I hope that there is one in the next book. So before that I was like, oh, she's okay. But after she goes to the mountain and kicks some ass and sacrifices everything and fights for people that she doesn't even technically belong to, I have so much respect for her, and I'm really, really happy with the way that her arc came about in this book. I know she's probably going to have issues with killing those fae and have issues with what she did in the mountain and issues with a certain someone who I will talk about soon. I really, really, really liked her in the end, and I hope that she keeps on this path, especially now that she's a high fae. Like, that blew my mind. Blew my mind. I knew that something had to happen. Like, I was like, she's not gonna die, obviously. But I figured they could just, like, heal her, like, as a human. But then she turned to high fae, and I was like, what? Because I liked her as a human. It's like taking Styles from Teen Wolf and turning him into a wolf. It'd be like, oh, I don't like that. But this is different, because if she stayed a human, I don't think there would really be a place for her. I feel like she would keep being saved and never come to her full potential, even though, what does that say about humanity? I don't know how I feel about this. I think I like her as a high fae in, like, story regards, because she can, like, keep fighting and be herself and whatever. But as, like, a sociological thinking, I kind of wish that there was a human that could stand up for themselves in the end. Because isn't that kind of what the whole book's about, is, like, caring for your people and for people who aren't you, and now they don't have a human presence. So I think Nesta's gonna come back. She's gotta come back. Like, we're not done with Nesta. We're not done, and she has to come back. But then there's Rhysand. And from the start, I did not like Rhysand. As soon as he rescued her from those, like, creepy fae at, like, the right or whatever, I was like, I don't know about this character. And then he came and was all threatening Tamlin. I want to know their backstory, first of all, Tamlin and Rhysand's backstory. I know we got a little bit of it with, like, Amarantha and the 7x7 year thing, but I need to know their full backstory. Like, please give me their backstory. Rhysand doesn't sit well with me. Like, I know that he was just, like, using her at the parties to make Tamlin mad so that when he got his powers back, he would, like, freak out and kill Amarantha and all that. Like, I know he was doing it for a purpose, but was he? The fact that she was there was making him mad enough. And the fact that she was, like, dying in a freaking dungeon with, like, her arm broken and getting ill, I feel like that was enough. Like, you didn't need to add on all that bullshit about, like, oh, you need to be my slave and dance with me and get really drunk at parties and not remember what you did and paint your body and be naked. Like, that's so demeaning. And because she's not a fae, I feel like, it's not racist because it's not a race, but I feel like it's, like, using, like, a lower person or class than you to, like, gain political upstanding, and I really, really dislike that. Like, I know he has issues and, like, there's more to Rhysand and whatever, but I personally, right now at this moment, I don't like Rhysand. And I understand that they have a connection because they both have dark pasts, but I don't understand him. And the one thing, this might be a minor spoiler, just so you know, because I didn't realize this until I watched Home Banana's books. I watched her book talk on this book, and she was like, yeah, when they imprint at the end, I was like, what? It literally, I understood that something happened at the very end when Rhysand's, like, going back to his night court, and he's like, oh, like, peace out, Feyre, and she's like, oh, peace out, and then he's like, and, like, has an attack and then vanishes, and she's like, oh, that's weird, and then they move on. But I was just like, oh, that's weird, like, something obviously happens with that in the next book. That's what I figured. I was like, in the next book, they'll explain that, maybe something's happening at his court, maybe Amarantha's back, like, I didn't know what happened. And then I watched Christine's video, and she was like, oh yeah, like, Rhysand obviously imprints on Feyre. And I was like, what? Like, shook. It shook my world because I did not realize that at all. And Tamlin said if somebody imprints, like, that's it. Like, there's nothing you can do. Marriage doesn't matter. But Feyre was a human first, so, like, how does that affect things? Like, because she was a human first, is that going to change how she is as a high fae? And I want to know who else was a human first. Like, who else? There's gotta be someone. And I think there's gonna be a mishmash of the human world and the fae world in the next book. But I don't know where the next book goes. I'm just so interested in how next book's gonna play out. And I know she has the whole week thing with Rhysand, and I want to know what the freaking tattoo means. Like, that tattoo, is it like a, like, is she, like, connected to him? And are him and Tamlin gonna be friends in the end, especially if he has a thing for Feyre? Like, I don't. Rhysand is unsettling to me, and I hope that I feel differently in the future. Like, I hope he redeems himself, and I hope that I end up really, really liking him and understanding him more, but at this point, I don't. So I just want to talk about some fun parts that I loved in the book. One of the parts is when, after the rite, she's, like, in the hallway, and Tamlin comes back, and he's like, I was looking for you, and he's, like, all, like, crazy or whatever, and then he bites her neck. That's not the part that I love, but I loved the next day when she's like, like, should I cover this up? And then she's like, no, like, screw that. He did this to me, and he deserves to know what he did to me, and he deserves to know that everybody else knows what he did to me. So you know what? I'm gonna just walk out and display and be chill. I absolutely love that. I was like, yes, girl. Like, you go, you show him, and this is his fault, and he needs to see the repercussions, and you shouldn't be ashamed of it. I was just like, yes, queen. I loved that. Okay, so the part where Feyre leaves the castle to go back home, I find that so frustrating and so unbelievable. Like, genuinely unbelievable. I do not think that Feyre would have left. Like, thinking about her character, she just wouldn't. Like, you're gonna die either way. Like, she's either gonna go find you in the human realm, or like you're gonna stay here and fight. And I feel like Feyre is like a stay here and fight kind of girl, you know? Even if like it would hurt Tamlin, I feel like she'd be like, screw you, Tamlin. Like, she tells him how it is all the time. And in this one instant where he's like, leave, it's literally 3 days. Like, how dumb could you be? Why didn't Lucian try harder? Like, why didn't someone just be like, you're such an idiot, like actually an idiot? Like, that part drove me insane, because I thought it was like, it made sense with Tam's character. Like, he's like, I'm trying to protect everyone here, I'm trying to protect you, but I also need to protect my people, so you need to leave so that I can like take the fall for this. But like, Feyre, I feel like she'd be like, no, like, you're not sending me away, you and I are in love, cannot be away from you right now, and I don't care what you say because I can take care of myself. Even if you say I can't, I still can, because I feel like that's how she feels. And it just, sorry, there's construction on my street. So that frustrated me so much, because I feel like that happens in so many YA books, and I just like, oh no, like, it's such a scapegoat, and I'm like, don't use that trope anymore. They wouldn't leave each other. Like, it just wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen. Okay, so the stone heart thing, didn't see that coming. I knew that there was gonna be some kind of trick up Amarantha's sleeve when Feyre was like, maybe, I don't know when immediately is, like, maybe that could be immediately in 3 years. I'm like, why wouldn't you say something? Like, you thought of it at that moment and you didn't say anything. And also the fact that she didn't get the world's most obvious riddle, I was like, I know you can't read, but like, it was so obvious. And she was like, I think it's quite lovely. I was like, just think about really lovely things that Amarantha would like to make fun of. Immediately, she hates that humans love fairies. Like, that's her thing. It's like, I just think Feyre should have thought about it more. So I don't know where this book is going to head in the next book. I don't know what's going to happen with Rhys and Tamlin, and I'm really excited to meet some new characters, I hope. I know the next book's really great from BookTube, and some of my friends have said it's awesome. One of the best books of 2016, so I cannot wait. And I hope that you guys like this video. I hope that you subscribe and like, and come on back for more. My name is Allie, and I'll see you next week.